Saturday morning. Just gone 7 o'clock. So around about 7:15 now, as you saw from that clock just then. The temperature in here is around about 11 degrees. Just doing a spot of washing, getting that done. I wanted to show you like my cactuses, because as you can see, this one, it was around about that tall, and then all of a sudden one day it started to, even though I was watering it, it started to dry out. So I cut it off about there, and then it's continued to dry, so I cut it off again and it continued to dry, because I was afraid it might have a disease. Then it stopped drying out, and all of a sudden it started sprouting out new ones. Look, now we've got new ones sprouting out. Lovely jubbly. And I've got this little one down here. I've got this one here, which has gone a bit weird, but that's growing well. This one is starting to dry out on the top, so I started giving it even more water, and now it's starting to go green again. So we're coming along well with that one. All those ones along, you can see along there, are going quite well. But then it's the one at the end, the big tall one at the end, that seems to be the troublesome one. This one was growing lovely. And the trouble was, it was on the windowsill over here. And instead of going upwards, it was going upwards, but then it started to sort of curl around, and then it started growing sideways. So I moved it rather foolishly. And I moved it a bit, and then it started to grow up the wall. It was growing up the wall, and then it moved around, and then one day it fell over, and then it kind of snapped down there. If you can probably see where the snappage occurred, and you know, about there. But I think we've saved it, I think, because I think I caught it before it actually properly snapped, and it looks like, to me, like it's still growing. I mean, the ends are red and a bit yellow, but it's green still. It's gone a bit brown up here. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm watering it every day. Look, I don't care. People say you should, and there's new sproutlings popping out, and people say, you know, people say, oh, don't water cactuses, but I water mine every day and they grow well. So, you know, I know some of you look like the cactuses, so I thought I'd show you that. Also, look, the trumpet pictures, they're picking up. They were going a bit weird. The trouble is now, we're getting into the winter. They took all summer to pick up, and they were going all brown like them ones. But now, we're getting some new ones starting to sprout up, see? Trouble is, they took all winter to all summer to do that, and now it's coming into winter. The temperature in here is about 11 degrees, roughly, approximately 12 degrees, something like that. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's going to start getting even lower. So hopefully they pull through. Temperature in here, when this ever focuses, the temperature in here is, what's that? That looks like 11, 12, about 13 degrees. So I think it's time we turn the old CB on, and we'll turn on the 736 as well, and we'll turn on the extension so the 736 can come on. That can be warming up. That can warm up. Extension, that can warm up. Turn on that, charge up the Bofang. I know I don't go on the radios very much anymore, not as much as I'd like to, nowhere near as much as I'd like to, but I like to turn them on every now and again, let them heat up, let all the capacitors keep powering them. It might be nothing, it might not do anything, it might even make things, well, I won't be making things worse, but I just like to turn them on every now and again, especially when it gets cold, because I can't afford to heat this little room. I did one year have a little heater in here, and I was keeping an eye on the electric bills, and it was getting a bit high, so I turned that off. So I haven't got any heat in here or nothing, so just like to keep these. It's not cold at the minute. I know 14 degrees, 13 degrees isn't cold at all, but you know, these radios are meant to be kept at room temperature, which is approximately 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. So, you know, have to just keep them going. And who knows, I might have a go on a radio later on if I can be bothered. Well, not if I can be bothered, but if I have enough time. You know, I always feel really guilty because every time I come and do something, sit down or something, the missus gets the oh, I'm sitting in here on my own, am I then? So I have to kind of just go along and do things that are near her, otherwise she gets a bit anxious if I'm not near her. So, and she don't like coming out here. I don't know why, I think she's scared of it. So I just kind of keep things ticking over. Anyway, so what time is it now? Well, remember I told you about this dodgy clock? It's done it again. It's certainly not 5 past 9. What is that, 5 past? Yeah, it's not. The time is... nearly 7:45. So, everyone's sleeping. Everybody's still sleeping for some reason, don't know why. I've done all the washing, you lot. I've done all the washing. I'm waiting for one more load to be done. Stick that in the old dryer. And what I've got to do, I wanted to try and get this little RC car going, but I need to put some petrol in the car. I've got some petrol. I'll show you the petrol in a minute. But I've got a broom. I need to make a broom. Do you know why I need to make a broom? Because my broom broke. So a long time ago, my broom broke, and I've lost the handle for it. So what I'm doing is I'm to make a new broom. I was looking in the shop. Let me just get this. That'll do the trick. That should be right. That should be a nice broom handle, shouldn't it? This is not a broom handle. This I've just dropped on the floor. Isn't a broom handle. It's a handle. It's meant to have a little wire brush on the end of it, and you kind of brush it in the cracks for block paving and get all the weeds and things out. But it's a perfect broom handle. I mean, this is a broom here, and it's alright. It's a bit thinner, but I'm hoping it'll fit in. So what I've done, I was looking in the shop. And brooms, for a whole broom, in the bottom, the brush and the handle, looking at about £20. And I was like, fuck, 20 quid for a fucking broom. And then I see you can buy just the handle on its own, just the handle, no brush on the end of it, just a handle, for £14.99. £14.99. And then you can buy just the brush. The same brush that's on the broom that's made, but it's just the brush for £1.99. So 15, 16, £17 and is that £17.98p? I think it is. I'm not entirely sure. Not good at maths. I think it's £17.98p if you was to buy both of them separately. But I thought to myself, I don't need a handle because I've got one. Look, there's my handle. So what I've done is I've brought just the brush, and it's amongst, I've bought some other bits because I've got to do some painting indoors. Remember I told you lot about the bathroom that flooded and then the wall went mouldy and all the wallpaper fell off. I showed you some pictures. Well, I've got no choice, so I've got to do a bit of painting, a bit of decorating. So I've got some bits. There's a nice vent there, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with that later on. Look, this is, I've got a tap thing because my tap always freezes and I have to buy new pipes. But here's the brush. Look at me brush. Got a brush. Lovely brush. So hopefully I can just stick this brush on the end of that handle and I'll have a brand new broom. Lovely. With that trigger out of Only Fools and Horses. Let's try it out, shall we? Well, it's gone on there alright. I reckon the handle might need a bit of a sand. It's a bit splintery where it's very old. The handle's bloody old. Well, it's not really. It was about, handle's probably about 10 years old, but it's been stuck in the shed ever since the wire brush fell off the end of it. I've just kept the handle because I thought that is a good bit of wood. I can use that for a handle for something else. But it's gone on there alright. I've screwed it in and jammed it in there. But it's not the end of the world because even if this handle was a little bit too thin and didn't fit properly, I could just jam a few screws through there. Like, do you know what I mean? I could put a screw through there. Maybe one through the back or one side. And hold it in there anyway, so that'd be alright. But it's gone in there, it's holding in. If it falls off, it falls off. I'll just repair it. But that's lovely. It's a lovely, nice broom. Look at that. Oh, man. What have I been missing all this time? Lovely broom. I can do some brooming now. I've got my witch's broom that I use on a regular basis, but sometimes you just want an ordinary broom. So properly pleased. Oh, absolutely over the moon, you lot. Got a brand new broom. That's going to sit in the corner there till I want to use it, and then I'll get it out and do a bit of brooming and then put it back again in the corner. Love it. Proper happy with that. Supposed to be having Mr. Colin come over to take away these couple of lawnmowers, that carpet cleaner, and what else did he want? Oh, I've got another engine as well, look. I've got another engine down here. I said, if he wants it, he can have it, look. It's an old engine, don't know what it is, but just something or other. Got a little clutch on the back of it. And I think he's going to take that as well. So Mr. Colin will have some videos coming up with that probably. And he's having that old tumble dryer. I'm going to try and see if I can get him to take away this old phone. Colin, you want an old phone? You might better put it in your, like, in your work, in your, what do you call it over there? Workshop, is what you call it, in a workshop. You might have to put it in there, dial a few numbers, go, hello, Margaret. You know, do that kind of stuff. So, I've got my paint, I've got my thinners to clean my paintbrushes. That's for rub, that's for indoors, there's nothing to do with what you're interested in. Look, I've got my little tap cover thing. Normally I just buy the whole length. You know, you can get like the whole length of insulation. It's like a metre, isn't it? I can't remember the price of it, it's fucking expensive. But you buy a metre of insulation, foam insulation, and then you cut it around and then you slot it around the tap. And you put a few cable ties on it or whatever you want to use. Some people use metal ties or plastic ones that clip on, whatever. And that protects your tap from getting frozen in the winter. I've seen these ones before, but I've never bothered with them. But these ones were, this was cheaper than buying a metre length of you know, the insulation. So obviously I went for this option. But it's a pre-cut tap thing. Very useful. I'm going to go and put that on later. Because the tap I've got, it's outside and it normally freezes. Luckily, I've never had it freeze and burst a pipe, but it normally always freezes, and I've got no outside tap. So stick this on, because what happens is, I say it normally always freezes. I put on the insulation a few years ago, but it's never any good insulation, and it always just weathers and starts to crumble and falls off, and I just never replace it because I'm far too lazy and too cheap. So better do that. But you're wondering, why have you got a vent? What's a vent for? What have you bought a vent for, I wonder? Well, I'm going to show you why I bought a vent. I've got a box of screws here, look. Got my drill. I've actually somehow managed to lose the battery for my drill, so I've had to stick that one on it, but I don't think it works very well, but it works. And I'm going to go and put this vent on, and I'll show you why I've got a vent. You're going to love this. Do you know what? The reason I've got a vent is the most marvellous idea in the world, and I'm going to take credit for it. Oh, bit too far now. See, told you. And I just like the best. What I've done there is the most marvellous idea in the world. What I've done is I've used a vent to cover up a hole. Eh? I am a genius. The only trouble is because I haven't bothered to maintain that wall and paint it with proper wood paint every year. It's actually starting to fall apart, so it needs a new wall. But we'll ignore that. I've reset the clock. Trouble is, what happens is, it's a bit dicky sometimes. The second hand, see, look, it's stopped. So that's what happens. So you can't all... it's a bit loose on the old spindle that comes off the mechanism, or off the movement, right? So, yeah, sometimes it does that, and it ends up behind or whatever. I don't think it's going to be any good, is it? It's not any good at all. Nah, it needs a new clock on now, I reckon. Bloody hell. Oh, what's that all about? That was me, look, when I was younger. That's me doing a wheelie. A no-footed wheelie on a motorbike when I was about, what was I about there? About 14, 15 maybe? TTR 125 that was. Lovely motorbike. All that was the trailer that we had. It was just a horse box basically, and we had to transport them. There's a Husqvarna 50 there. That one there. Yeah. Nice old bikes. That was me, that was. Yay! Back in the day. Love it. I do miss them days, really. Yeah. Quite a bit of rain out there now. Doing a little bit of door painting. Got to do a little bit of interior decoration today. So, just preparing this door. I need to go and get some more sanding pads though, because this one's run out. And I've got another sander, but it's a bit big. This one's pretty nice. Just lost the end of it there, but yeah, it's alright. I've got to sand the door down because these doors have been indoors now for doors have been indoors for about 12 years, somewhere around there, 11 or 12 years, and we put various amounts of varnish on these doors. They're really nice doors, and at the time I wanted to create like a dark wood feel to, you know, to the interior, but times have changed. Got to keep up with the modern standards. And the missus, she wants white, everything to be white. So now I've got to paint everything white. So it's obviously going to start with the doors. Going to have to repaint everything. So yeah, start with the first door because I haven't got anywhere to do it. So the idea was I'm going to do door by door, one door a night, and we'll get there eventually. In an ideal world, I'd do them all in one go. But kids running around and all that, and all that, it's difficult to stop kids touching paint, wet paint and things like that. So do door by door, paint them in here, and we'll get there. Just prepared the knots so that they don't cause any trouble. Wait for all that to dry and we'll get going. Looks like the little Bofang's charged up, so that's handy. Got myself a cup of coffee. Let's shall we see if there's anyone on that radio. On this one, I don't think there's anyone around. On this one. Someone asked me as well. Someone asked me what call sign have I got for ham. The trouble is, I've only got the foundation one. I was going to go and I got all the books and everything to study to go all the way up and get the full license. I can use, you know, 400 watts and all that rubbish. But the trouble is, I can't do writing. I can't do theory. I can do the practical, you know, all the bits where you're not supposed to transmit on certain frequencies, certain powers. All of this I know in the head, but there's loads of theory work and other bits and bobs that go along with it that you have to do, you know. You have to go in a classroom, probably not classroom now, it's probably done on the internet, but you have to go and you have to do all the paperwork as well. And without the paperwork you can't pass the exams, even the practical side, you know. You can do the practical bit, and no one's going to sit there and listen to you and you tell it, so it has to be written down on paper. You have to do questions and learn things and read. I can't do it. Simple as that. I can't do it. I can't read. I can't learn from writing. So that's why I haven't done it. Someone's on the CB. But yeah, that's why I haven't done it. I got through and done the foundation. When did I do that? 2013. I did that. That was very easy. Then nothing to that one. But the next ones are difficult. That's the reason why. So yeah. Got the knowledge, the practical knowledge, just can't do the theory, and that's where it's going to have to stay. I'd love to be a full license holder though. Another tick to me book, you know. I'd love to be there. Love to just get that, because I got the knowledge, just can't convey it from writing or to writing. That's the trouble. But we'll get there. Maybe one day. This takes a lot of time. I haven't got time. Not only that, the course for the full license I think is a week long. I don't, because the foundation one you can do in a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I managed to squeeze that. I can't take a week off of work to go and do a course which isn't really, it's just for fun. You know what I mean? It's not going to benefit me. It's just a hobby. I can't take a week off of work and learn a week and lose a week's earnings for that. And I could take a week's holiday. I know you could say I could take a week's holiday, but the missus don't want me to take a week's holiday to do something for me, whereas I could be taking that week's holiday to go on a holiday. Does that make any sense? Like, or an actual holiday with them. So when it comes to things for me, I can't be doing that. So it's a tricky situation. But let's have a look on CB.
Got up Christmas morning, 16.
This is
fell
Trevor.
over to my left against the wall, stroke, and that was the start of it all, mate. But when my lungs filled up recently, well,
Oh dear.
before my heart op, I nearly died on my drive while they were pushing me out in the wheelchair. My lungs were full, I couldn't breathe. Terrible. And they did something in the hospital, but it damaged my vocal cords, mate. But sometimes I've got two different voices.
Well, to be honest there, Trev, I didn't recognise you. You sound extra smooth. So I wouldn't say that they're damaged. They sound alright on the radio anyway. Bloody hell, that's an incredible thing to have happen. A similar thing happened to my dad. Had an heart attack and ended up having open heart surgery and had a triple bypass. Yeah, very crazy, but it sounds like you had it a little bit worse than that. But anyway, you're here now, Trev, and you seem happy as normal.
Look, when you get problems like that, you mustn't let it get to you. And it's
He's got
easier
some
said
good
than
advice.
done. You got to think bloody positive. You got to carry on, and you got to force yourself to do things. In fact, I'm down my club again now, in the woods every day. Not today because of the weather. Shooting me bow and arrows. We got a special. It's called field archery.
Does bow and arrows, he
We've
does.
got plastic targets spread around. I won't bore you with details, but it's good fun. I'm back to that, mate, and I never thought I'd even get in the woods again.
Yeah.
But I made myself do it, and hey, I've done it.
He's an inspiration, that Trevor. Bloody hell, I know, Trevor. I've seen the videos of it. Remember you showed me on YouTube? You watch me as well. Funnily enough, Trevor, I'm filming you right now.
Lovely. Hey, I've just realised who I'm talking to.
Did ya? It's me, it's Ben.
Yes! I thought to myself, hang on, I haven't asked who it is yet. Oh, it's Ben, yeah. God, blimey, mate, we go back a little bit. Yeah, the old dozy dozer.
Aye, that's right, Captain. Yeah. Oh, mate, that's why I was so surprised when you just told me that you were slightly unwell very recently.
Blimey, mate, I've missed a load of things out that I've had, mate, and I mean serious things. But it's all set to try us, mate. Oh, what was I going to say? That video you put out, that's on RustySkull Promotions. And my voice is altering again now. About your neighbour. Oh, I tell you what, it made me laugh. Yeah, this friend of mine's coming out of jail soon. You know the one I mean.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what you get for being a bit stroppy, you know. You've got to wind them up sometimes, haven't you? I've got more new neighbours now. They're young ones opposite. They're parking vans and cars all over the place, and you know, no one can drive down the road and all of that. But you know, that's what happens, isn't it? You know, you got to learn to live with your neighbours. You got to be friends, haven't you?
Yeah, Roger, mate. Oh, that was funny though. The way you came out with it. In fact, I've saved it on archives. Oh, yeah. Now and again, if you feel a little bit down, I can switch over to these things and play them back. Oh, I thought it was so funny. Anyway. Yeah, by the way, did you ever get rid of that, I forget what they call it, you found it. A vacuum cleaner case.
A vacuum cleaner case. Don't know, you're going to have to be a bit more elaborate on that. Don't know what you mean by a vacuum cleaner case. I found several vacuum cleaners in the past. Don't know about a case, mind you, but probably. I'm having a big sort out at the minute. I'm getting rid of loads of stuff, Trev. Everything's going. Lawn mowers a lot. Got rid of a few lawn mowers. It's just too much clutter, so it's all going. So probably did get rid of it, yeah. I've got a collection of old vintage vacuum cleaners all the way from 1938 up to modern day, if you were interested.
Bloody hell, well I was born in 38. God, it's true. And I know which ones they are. They'll be brown coloured bag coming up from the bottom to the handle at the top. Yeah, that vacuum cleaner you put on your video was a Henry.
Oh yeah, probably they've all gone now. I've only got one which I keep to clean the car out. All the other ones have all gone. So yeah, they're all gone. Yeah, I've got a Hoover. What's it called? Hoover. It's 8 something. 8. Oh, I can't remember. It's brown. It looks like some kind of alien. You know what I mean? It's upright Hoover with a shake-out bag on the back. The on and off switch is on the handle at the top there. Literally like a little toggle switch made of metal. It's got a headlight on the front of it. It's like a light brown, made of metal entirely with a brush roller under it. What's it called? 862. Oh man, I can't remember what it's called. It's 8 something or other, made by Hoover.
Yeah, I remember them. They were so popular. And I think, by memory, I might be wrong, that bag on the back, I think somewhere around attached to it, there's a spring. But I might be wrong.
Yeah, held on with a spring, yeah. See, I'm interested in, I like the old ones because it's just, you know, the way stuff was made back then is much better. So I like that in the history, but, you know, it's all about just having fun, really. So I've got a small collection of them and all the Kirby's and all that. Yeah, they've got to go. They're in the loft at the minute. I was hoping the value was going to go up, but I don't think it is. So I might just have to get rid of them. Get shot.
I'll tell you what, the Kirby's will go, definitely. Oh! Blimey. Someone at my door ringing my bell. I don't know if this is a delivery or what, so I've got to go, mate. I'll catch you later.
Speaking a bit, all the best, Trev.
Yeah, sorry about that, being short and sweet.
Well, that's Trevor. Trevor is an inspiration by the sounds of it. I didn't know he'd been unwell recently, but sounds like, I don't know whether I filmed that bit or not, but he's had 2 strokes, an heart attack, some other things and bits and bobs in the last few months, and I didn't even know because I don't come on the radio anymore. Poor Trevor. But he sounds alright now though, doesn't he? But he's a bit of an inspiration, as anybody is an inspiration who's had that kind of trouble and is getting through it. There we go. The good old 25. Might go back on the 19 and see who's about on there, shall we? It's on the 19, look. Bonjour, bonjour. Who's about? Bonjour. I'll pretend to be French to see if anybody answers. Not that I'm very good at it. What does bonjour mean? Is it hello or goodbye? I think it's hello, isn't it? Hello, 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 hello. There's someone out there, but I'm not going to bother talking. Someone was calling out on 2 meters a minute ago. Done on the first side, so you know, hopefully it'll turn out all right. It's a little bit spots here and there that are a bit thin, but you know, in my experience, it's best just to let that dry rather than try and fix it there and then. Let it dry, and then when you go over with your second coat, which I'm going to have to do anyway with this, I wasn't sure whether I was going to have to. It might look all right on camera, but it's nearly dry now. Actually, it's been a little while, but there's little spots like this, you know, because I'm not a professional bloody painter, so you know, I dare say a professional painter would have been able to get that one coat perfect, but that's not me. You know, I'm just a wing it. So anyway, gonna have to put a second coat on it, but I'm not going to try and fix the bits that are a bit thin because I might end up getting brush marks or whatever. I want it to be good, you know. So there we go, bit of DIY. I love a bit of DIY, I really do. I'm not very good at it because I don't do enough of it. You know, it's like anything, you practice, you get better at it, but you know, take a lot of advice from my dad. He's a professional painter and decorator, so take a bit of advice from him, as well, a lot of advice from him. He's a bit like me. If you ask him for advice, you have to kind of proper coax the knowledge from his brain. A bit like me, you know, you have to keep asking, but that's good. That's good. We'll get there. I couldn't get them hinges off. The screws are. I didn't want to. The screws are rounded off for some reason. The ends are. So I've left the hinges on. I've took the door handle off, obviously. I wanted to take the hinges off as well and paint the whole door and then put it back on, but I couldn't get them off, so I just painted random. But yeah, proper happy. I'm going to wait for that to dry. I might try and get the heater in here actually and try and get it a bit hot in here. I've got a lot of petrol laying around though, so I'm going to have to be careful. I've got petrol laying everywhere, so I'm going to have to be careful with that. I might have to get the petrol out. Don't have a big explosion, do we? I'm going to get the gas heater in here. I'll get it heating up in here nicely so that, you know, this will dry wonderfully. The only thing I was a bit, I didn't want to paint it in here because I didn't want to get bits of dirt stuck to it. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Can't paint it indoors, so there we go. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one, you lot. I'm going to carry on with these doors and going to go and do the skirting boards and everything else and get all that done. Try and get rid of all that bloody black mould. Anyway, all the best, you lot. I'll catch you later. We might find something interesting to do. What I'm going to do, by the way, I've got some starts coming up. I've got a lawnmower and I'm going to try and get a motorbike running because I've got to get rid of it soon. So I'm going to start the motorbike up before I get rid of that. So I'll catch you later on.